right. So I saw that, but it looked like it was some sort of video game with that. But okay, I've updated. No. What's going on? My settings are already on. I'll just chat it again. Okay, we have 1.5 minutes. That's Please test the rolling of the dice. That was Jason, I think. Because everybody else is in theater and says these things. Yeah. Okay. What is our bit to our stream. We are doing an actual play of Under Hollow Hills Part 2. And the game will get introduced by our GM, Jason, who's over there on the screen. But in meanwhile, welcome. Take it away, Jason.
Thanks, Anna. Hi, my name is Jason, and I will be your Mistress of Ceremonies, your MC, for this game session of Under Hollow Hills, a game powered by the Apocalypse by Vincent McGay Baker. We are picking up from where we left last time, but before we do, I'd like to give our players a chance to introduce themselves. Spirit Chrysalis, would you like to start?
Sure. Hi, I'm Spirit Chrysalis. I mostly do video game streams here of the RPG variety, but I also do a lot of LARPing and things like this. And I go by she, her, they, them, or Faith Fair, and I am playing Rose Cheek, the stick figure.
Jillian, let's go to you next. Thank you.
Oh,
Renee?
apparently, hang on. Apparently, people are not getting sound from Jillian.
But my headphones are charged.
Yeah, and my
No one will
OBS.
silence the Nightmare Horse.
And
And we can
OBS.
hear you just fine, so...
Yeah, that's the weird part.
Well, and more importantly, OBS thinks.
Oh, there she is. There she
Oh.
is.
Okay.
Alright, well you already know my deal. I'm Jillian. I'm a Luddite. I don't really switch. I play games with these fine people. I'm playing Aldebaran. They are the Nightmare Horse. And they are delicious.
All right. Thank you, Jillian, for coming back in. Renee?
Hello there. I am Renee, aka Hedgie Cleric. I do stream on Twitch quite a bit, usually more makers and crafting with various fiber arts. And I am playing Emerald Ash, the Feather Cloak, also known as the big squawky parrot that goes, "Rah, come to the circus." And my
And
pronouns
lastly-
are she, they. I missed that last time, but character pronouns, at least for now, are she, her.
Thank you very much. And Anna?
I am Anna. I'm here as T'Pau Vulcan. I stream this and mostly anything else that I happen to be playing, as well as some crafts, both knitting and crochet, and some yarn spinning while reading the Iliad, that sort of thing. And I am playing Willowwind, who is a winding rose, and both Willowwind and myself use she, her pronouns.
Thank you. So, to recap from last session, when we last left, the troop traveled to a small village for an occasion of gift giving. When they arrived, they met the townsfolk. There was Nick, who serves as something of a major domo and is looking for something that will make him happy and is afraid his life will change. We met Starfall and Canopy, the elves, who had a flirtatious and somewhat heartbreaking encounter with our nightmare horse, Aldebaran. We met...
Not my finest moment, darlings. Not my finest moment.
We met Scintilla Globesome, the mayor of the town, and Spiderkin, who has a place up in the tree canopies where she and her kin listen and watch as things go on. We met the crew of the troop learned some things about the town. They learned some of what the town might want, but they also sniffed on the wind portents of those coming with hungers of their own, who may want more than the town can give. We resume at the start of the festival. You can see the The fairy lights are lit. Um, the chairs have been moved into place. There is a performance space arranged for the troupe. Um, you can see people um, moving their um, their goods with them. Some of them carry pouches, some of them carry larger sacks, some of them have tiny sheafs of paper, some have garlands made of leaves. They are here and they're looking at other people and looking at you and making tiny little scratching notes on the on their tiny little pads of paper, their sheafs of writing, as if they're trying to plan who to visit first, kind of like a dance card. Nick um, makes his way toward uh, toward the collection of you, the wagons that have been circled. He looks like he's looking for someone in charge or someone he can talk to about plans. Which one of you is that? He catches your eye. He moves over. You can still see the buds of antlers from the end of from the the result of being treated and counseled by Emerald Ash. They're a little bit bigger than the last time you saw him. Like before, they were just tiny little buds. Now they're actually starting to like branch a little bit.
Well, hello, growing boy.
Hello, Your Magnificence.
Ah, sorry.
I
Very
have
nice.
I have a question and I crave no, no, not crave. This is not for me. This is a a request from the village, the town.
On behalf of my public speak.
It is tradition for the first gift to be given and then the show to begin. Who will be your who will be your opening act? Who is the first who will speak so that we may plan with them?
Tarry but a moment, and I will fetch you your answer. And she goes stamping along. Round up, round up, round up.
Huddle
Come, come,
time.
come. Come, chickies, huddle. Come. Master Nick has asked me to inform him of the opening act that he may plan a gift giving to go just before him. Where are we sending him first?
Well, we must figure out the whole list of acts, don't we? And the order.
I mean, I'm rather fond of calling it on the fly, but if we must plan, at least let us plan swiftly the curtain jerker that I need to tell him.
Thoughts?
I could try some magic.
Fortune telling does bring the crowd.
It
would be
might
un-
fit what I am hoping to do as well.
All right then.
Renee, you're silent.
That's pretty, but I cannot hear you.
Oh no.
Fucking hell.
Oh,
Sorry,
you
that's
are.
on my end. That's on my end. So, Why don't we start with the Trapeze Act?
Oh,
Okay.
Ooh.
that's a
I mean,
good.
that's
I don't
a
need to
bit
go first.
hinting. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think
Did
usually we have, kind of a parade of all of the acts that will be going on at that particular time. And then we could start into kind of the big show.
Did we ever
Isn't that how we
determine
usually
if
do it?
we are having a roof?
Oh, I don't think we're having a
Okay.
No, we're not.
Okay.
It's more work, too.
So
Mm.
everyone can see.
The Trapeze Act will put people closer to the high up audience.
All right.
Maybe
Well,
warn the performers to not go for the high jumps.
Yeah.
Well, let us call Butterbur and Bitterbomb.
Oh, the
Just
twins.
the twins.
Fantastic. They do a fantastic acrobatic act.
Great.
Are they aerialists as well? I hope they're aerialists. They are now.
You could certainly they are certainly you could certainly ask them, and they are definitely capable of doing it.
Then I will send word that for the twins to present themselves.
Certainly. In a twinkle, the twins, Bumblebur and Biddlebaum, they come in. They look like they've been, sort of. They've been sort of like, having sort of a makeup fight in their wagon. So you see that their outfits are sort of smeared uh, with um, with powder and with rouge, and they are uh, good gentles.
What are we doing for here? What is this?
We were having a disagreement. Uh, I am the opinion that uh, Bumblebur is a much better name to lead with, while my twin is misguided about who should get top billing.
Oh,
And I tell you that alphabetical order is the only sensible way to go.
perhaps just for perhaps disengagement. Agree to alternate.
For this engagement. So,
So whatever this is, either do more of it or change. At least your clothing.
we will be ready.
Lovely. How is your aerialism?
Uh, good, good. It's been a minute, but we can get some air. What is it you have? Do we have silks? Do we have trapeze?
I can get you both. I think silks would be lovely. What's a gentles? They're sort of like trapezes, and honestly, silks is sort of on the nose. If you get my drift.
They look at each other's noses.
Yeah. Without
If you
the
say so.
without the roof, we just need to make sure we can still suspend them from something.
Um, I'm sure that
We still have the frame, last I checked.
We have
The tent
frames.
frame is up. The tent itself.
Oh, okay.
The tent itself is not up, so we do have things to support things.
Okay.
I shall notify the crew. and shall launch the aerialist. There's no time. Your costumes will do for now. Come with me. I shall return anon,
Fair enough.
and I take them back to you.
Okay. He greets the two of them, nods, he bows low to you, of course. And he uh, informs them that they will need to be in position after the first gift. Your ringmaster, your host, will segue from the first gift to the opening of the show, and then things are as you want them.
Hmm. All right. That shall be the order at the beginning of things. If you have any
And
more need of us,
and the favor. Our fantabulous mayor, Scintilla Globesome, would like to join you on stage for the final act, whatever it is. I know this is irregular, but that is her request. Is that something that can be accommodated?
perceptive individuals will see a sort of darkening of features and one slight tap of her right foot on the ground. Her toes dig a little into the sand. Yes, they say, without any other explanation.
Thank you, your illustrious eminence. We will we will inform the mayor, and we thank you again for your indulgence. Oh,
We live
and
but so.
if um, if Ash is there, I would. I have a gift for her.
Oh, I shall inform her.
Thank you. And he lopes off with something of a spring in his step.
Oh, wait, no.
I don't know what the I don't know what the rating is for this game.
You just see the swish. There's a grand swish, and she had it off. Back to the
Yep.
What act do we want to be last then that would have the mayor in it?
Mine could. It involves her.
Okay. How does it involve her?
I'm going to do a reading.
Okay.
That does solve my dilemma. Alright,
Okay.
darling, welcome to your first top billing.
Oh, goodness. Oh, my. Okay. I can do it.
You can do
I
it.
know. You're just going to shine brighter than all the stars in the sky. So,
Very kind.
I know. Dear Emerald, if you happen to see Nick out in the playing grounds, he has a gift for
Um. Well, that's quite kind of him. Sorry, I'm a little bit scattered since I'm trying to figure out exactly the right song to prepare for this, and it's been so long since I've done this. I'm still trying to get myself together.
If it's all right, Aldebaran will stride forward and take Emily's hands and just hold them and darling, wherever you are, wherever you go, your voice is as they are, strident and bright and urging us on towards
Sorry. Thank you.
you. You will
Very
not
powerful.
fail us.
Are you making a play at this time, Jillian?
Oh no, I'm just saying wonderful words.
Okay.
Though, now that you mention it, I could.
You
Now
could.
that you mention
Honestly, it's a good time for it. Honestly.
it. Yeah, honestly, now that you mention it, I could.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
I think I'm going to try. Scroll faster. I believe. Yes. I think I'm going to take it.
My word.
I look very, very deeply into Emily's eyes and bring, if it's okay with you, bring one of her hands up to the necklace that sits in her head. At this moment, I'm wearing my silver necklace, and if you place your hand there, all the stars in the sky will be yours.
At this time, Jillian, I need you to roll.
Fans of this channel will remember last time.
The dice were not kind.
But this is not that time.
But this is not that time!
Oh. Your dice are not appearing on screen.
But it was such a good roll.
It was
It is
a
a
good
good
roll.
roll.
It was
Nice
10
piss off.
on the dice.
I
It
am.
was
I
10 on the
am-
dice.
Yeah, I am player 10, if that makes any difference.
No, it shouldn't. It was working before. Why is it not working now? Excellent. Oh no! Very weird. What is going on? Are we back?
Clearly,
is it
fate
working
does
now?
not want me to woo at this
Okay,
point in
we're
time.
back, apparently. I have no idea what happened. Sorry, ignore the dice rolling. I'm testing the thing. The thing is working. Oh my god. Technology, why? Okay. Thank you, audience. I do hear somebody typing.
That was probably me.
Okay. Sorry.
Jillian, you
Yep.
got a complete hit. Um, to note, you may say a second thing. Also, the truth. But while you're thinking of that,
Yeah, let me think about it.
Renee, you've been given an offer. What does Emerald Ash say?
Oh,
Considering this is the first time that Aldebaran has ever offered something like that before, there's definitely a lot of but because she trusts Aldebaran, sure. And she reaches out and she touches the silver necklace.
The traditional words of the Nightmare Horse begin to fall from her lips, but they change. She starts to say, at this moment, and her hand, the emerald's hand, on her necklace, she goes, no, you will be perfect. This time.
My internet hates me because that came out super choppy to me.
oh no.
Damn it. I said, at
Please
this
say
moment,
again.
at this moment, you shall be perfect. This time.
And with the magic
For the first time for a very long time, Emerald Ash blushes.
there is a moment that hangs in the air. A stillness and perhaps a note that rings out. And just as soon it passes.
All right. Oh, no, no. Oh,
No. Fair enough. No, it's the if that's the way we play it, that's the way we play it. You clap, clap, and
all right, chop, chop.
it is the nature of fairy love.
All right, chop, chop, show to do. Let's go.
I have one quick question.
Of course, darling.
They lower their voice. Our end goal is to ensure that they don't need to take as much as they're going to. Yes, through scintilla, we think. Is that correct?
Your portent, if I remember correctly, said indicated that there was something hungry, um, something that would descend upon the town more than perhaps the town was willing or able even to give. Correct?
I think that was partially someone else's. But yes, it was about a hunger, and it was about something, but we didn't know what. That's important. That's it. Okay, okay.
Whatever the force is that is coming to take more than this town is able to give, that must be curtailed. It's a lovely town. The inhabitants might be a touch in place and boorish, But I believe we should give them our best, no matter what the odds.
Good. I can do that. I can work with that.
I know you can. I know you. Willow, would you like to perform tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Do you
What?
want to perform? Do you want to do something? Go
Well,
out, dance, kick up your heels. Sell tickets with a plum.
I don't usually perform.
It's a night. Look, it is a night for unusual. It's why I put it that way.
Well, hmm. What would I do? Hmm. Don't know. I could. Well, I suppose maybe I could dance. I
You
could
do have a
dance.
Wixen figure.
Have, well, I have a sword. I can dance with it.
People love dancing with swords.
On my head. That could be fun,
Lovely.
right? That could be fun. Hmm. Maybe I will do that.
Alright then. It's settled. We're all performing tonight. I think that's great. Who else? Who else are we,
Um, so we'll have singing, dancing. We'll
My
have.
act will involve the Lady Rosemary, but mostly in a pantomime that briefly occurs before the actual magic.
Lady
doing-
Rosemary is always happy to perform with you. You can use her as part of your act, or also that will not count against using her as an act of her own if you want to put her on stage.
The general idea of the pantomime will be that Rose Cheek in it will be seen as the I'm trying to remember, not seneschal, but effectively a servant of the lady. So the
Chatelaine?
Rose theme. I was thinking of that, and then I'm suddenly like, I'm remembering the physical object, the
Yes.
chatelaine, not the
Yeah.
actual
Yes.
title. And I'm like, am I wrong about that? No.
The seneschal is the correct term, I believe.
But regardless, they're commoners' servants, so to speak, and they will come out and do this magic act, but they will be doing it for Scintilla Globesome in the same way that the assistant to a noble might be doing something for either noble, whether it be Lady Rosemary or her.
Hmm.
Assuming Scintilla's a she. I know, they know.
How many acts do we want to have total? Do we
we
need
could
more?
go all night and have.
Hmm.
Rosecheek, as you are describing your pantomime to the assembled troupe, you hear a rushing sound, and from the corner of your eye, you catch the cloud-aspected fairy moving through the crowd, carrying and distributing seeds.
Interesting. Do you mind if I see what that is?
Go for it.
I traipse off to find
Okay.
my friend-ish, who I've never spoken to, but that's fine.
Yep. You follow through the winding parts of the town where things are slightly darker. The trees closer together, the lights less well distributed. It is not easy for you to keep up, but you do. And eventually you find yourself in a small, clear space where there is a hewn stump and a bag of seeds.
And presumably them.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Hello.
He gestures and makes a sort of little goofy flourish.
Uh, Rose Cheek bows and does one of those like doll arms splayed outwards like a Barbie. Like there's no, they have movement there, but they just look flailed out like the arms are a tail. And rise back up. Do you speak?
Uh, he opens his mouth, and what comes out is um, something like a bird call. Not quite an actual bird call, like Emerald Ash might make, but something more of like a sort of sort of pointed squeak or trill.
Oh, sort of. That's very neat. Hi, I'm Rose Cheek. I saw you before. You pointed upwards. I thought I should at least say hello and I think thank you. And um I didn't know if you wanted to be friends.
He nods in an enthusiastic way, and he reaches out and gathers up a handful of seeds. They could be sunflower seeds or some other kind of like they're seeds for eating and not for planting, and he offers them to you.
Oh, thank you. My the way I eat is a little atypical, but do I eat them or do I hold on to them? Well, I will take them as a gift in the spirit offered here. And they pull off from their body. These are not the only ribbons that they have on their person. They have probably scraps of all sorts of fabric throughout that they can loosen, and they pull off a piece. And provided that, do you mind if I may I touch you for this?
He nods.
They find a place on his wrist or something similar to tie a little bow of fabric as by way of a gift to them.
He looks at it and turns his wrist this way and that, and he beams. Would you like to make a play?
Sure. Yeah. Let's. Oh, I don't have the full description here. I would like to use this conversation in some way to figure out more about what this whole like if they have any idea what's going on about like a hunger coming and making bad stuff happen, like any details I can get about
That's
any
a
of that.
that seems like an opportunity you've got. Um, my thinking is you could.
It sounds more like an obvious play than a specific play because
Possibly, yeah. My guess could be that you could open up to them. You could draw them out. Um, you could size them up.
I know I'm better at opening up than drawing out, although that's not bad. Let me see what I get from that. Thought I had
Or, I mean, as the stick figure, you can say what you think is going on, and
That's
then
true.
they can correct you.
That's true. That's true. You know what? I'm as good at that as I am at opening up. So either one works. I'll do that.
Okay.
Sure. I'll start with that.
Okay.
And I'll indicate what I'm saying, what I think is going on.
Yep.
Look, I am a little worried about everyone here. I went up a bit, and it was quite nice. And I think we could sense something. I feel like something may be coming. Something that needs something. A hunger? And I worry about what might happen with the town if it were simply satisfied. I was wondering if you knew if Scintilla Globsum or an ally of theirs was what was so hungry and might need more. So yeah, I'm suspecting that it's Scintilla Globsum or someone they're allied with that's doing
Yep. And you have blurted out what you think is going on, so give us a roll.
Okay. Let's see how today works. Why do I have bees and pink? Sure, whatever. I'll do bees and pink.
Bees.
That's a pretty good roll. That's a 9 for +2 with an 11.
Sounds great. So your dice are mismatched, which is fine. It's just it was hard to read for a
Oh,
second.
that,
Okay,
excuse
sure.
that. I didn't mean to click it again.
Nope, it's all good.
It's cocked.
All right, sure. Um, so that's a solid complete hit. And they reach out and like and start making like sort of charades like gestures. Um, you are correct in that something hungry is coming. Um, that is threatening the town. You are not correct that it is an ally of Scintilla Globson. This is an outside force, and he seems to think it's more connected to Carry the Gar than it is Scintilla Globson. By Carry, he makes the gesture of the combing and the mirror.
Oh, I see. Oh, well, that's rude. They live here. They should have more civic engagement with their town. Okay, well, thank you. This was very kind, and I will keep these. And they put them in like a small recess in their body.
Yeah, you put them in your body, and you have your that space, that limb, that joint makes a sort of like maracas like sound now when you walk,
Neat.
at least a little bit. Unless until you fall apart again, in which case you can reset it.
Then, then I'll like sip up the seeds. I will keep them close to my heart, and they are not joking. It is literally somewhere around where that would approximately be in a person.
And he's truly like touched by that, just that it is close to your heart. And he looks around and points up, and when he looks up, he makes to try and escape without you noticing.
Uh, I think that for the sake of amusement and time, Rosecheek allows this to happen whether or not they actually notice,
Okay.
and makes a bit of a play of, where did they go? I cannot. Well, that was just silly, and so they do a bit of that for a while. And they literally they walk away, hear the slight rattling sound, and start skipping instead because it goes now as they do, and are enjoying that for a while. And I come back to the group.
All right.
And I share that information with them to make that faster.
Hmm. Well, I'm pleased to know that it's not the mayor and Lady Jesus after children.
I can keep that in mind for the reading. That will help. It will still work.
Well, darlings, let us. I have sketched approximate bill for tonight. If you are amenable, after Bitterbur and Butterbomb. Oh, yeah. Butterbur, Bitterbomb. And then I'm going to have to transpose it every other night. That's my fault. After then, let's send on Annie Buckeyes and her tales of and her tricks of hand-eye coordination with practice. And after that, I'll go. Then during intermission, we can send on the Dandywood players. Let's have them present the courtship of Hippolyta. That's always good for them. There's a good dance in it. They can get everyone involved. Afterwards, Willowin, do you feel comfortable doing the intermission opener? The Act 2 opener?
Yes. Yes.
Alright. And
Um,
then Emily?
I'm gonna put my hand up for a minute. Anna, you last session you were not so excited about being an onstage performer. Is that something that you're okay with?
Yeah, I mean, like, she's gonna dance with a sword on her head. The sword is one of my whatchamacallit things. Uh,
Your trappings.
trappings. Um, I will find it. It's the named sword that has been tossed somewhere carelessly. Um, I don't, because it's not a thing that is like a performance that one does. Like, I don't have to. Anna, does not have to try to sing or something.
Nope,
I can.
nothing
I
like
can.
that.
I can describe a sword dance just fine. Um, my
Sure.
problem is doing
I
things
want
that
to
I
make
have
sure
to
because
actually do.
oh no, that's fine. I wasn't certain if you didn't want that kind of spotlight on your character.
Oh no, that's fine. I mostly am worried about that kind of spotlight on me, but since I only have to
Ah,
describe somebody doing something cool, I'm fine with it.
awesome. Just checking in.
Yep, no, it's fine. And as long as it's fine to describe without having any kind of on character skill at dancing.
Totally, totally.
Great.
I don't think
We're
that was
all
ever expected out of
yeah,
anybody.
we're all fairies. We're naturally gifted at these
Yes,
things.
she's just really good at it, clearly.
Clearly.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
like the thing is, the Winding Rose has fearsome fighting skill. In a lot of
Yep.
ways. You know,
Yes, but I'm not going to perform twining danger, or laying on hands. So, uh, but I am one of the things,
It could
Jason,
be
is
fun.
that Willowwind is fairly concerned that others will get harmed in the process of this performance. So, being right there where everybody is reasonably important to her, which is
sure.
why she agreed to do it, because she doesn't normally perform, but she can, and she wants to be in the middle of things.
Thank you. Thank you. That I wanted to check in and thank you
Yeah,
for
no, I appreciate
elaborating.
that.
You know? All right. So, um, to pass back to Jillian, who was talking about the lineup.
And then Emily, would you like to go before the roast and
That
was
sounds
then
fine
roast
to me.
was then roast on as the finale.
Do you want to know what the essence of the of what I plan to do is, in case it matters to you all? Brief.
I mean, it matters. It always matters. You always matter.
Still, like, just in case it's something that you want to help. Either way is fine. My intent is to essentially change the fate of the town through Scintilla Globesome, who is the leader and therefore is resonant with the land, and therefore will assist them. They are going to find that the hunger that might otherwise plague them will change, and that they won't necessarily have it plague them to the degree that it would, and that it will not need to take as much as it once might have had to.
That may influence my song choice. Thank
Oh,
you.
good. Well, I leave it up to you all. I just wanted you to know why I was using, why I was involving Scintilla specifically,
Um,
and what the goal is.
we have had a hydrate redeem. Please, everybody,
Oh.
hydrate.
Great.
Somebody
My water
rolled
bottle is empty,
Oh no!
so I will do this over the break. I promise. I promise.
Somebody rolled a d8.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing. We will. Yes. Uh,
Um,
that is your MC being sketchy or spooky.
oh boy.
It is also me not being quite as prepared and, half expecting my fiance, Otter Delight, to come in and shake the water bottle at me, because that's what he does.
I think
Well, he does it on my stream all the time.
I might try to give this place its voice. Because I think it needs the voice. Everybody is very shh because they're always overheard, and I think it's needed.
Does anyone want to do anything out in the town before the
But as
show?
far as that particular performance lineup, that sounds good to me.
Yeas, nays.
The performance lineup sounds perfectly fine to me.
Okay.
So let's be good and so let it be done. Now with Dabro, off to the printer's program goes.
Absolutely. One of the boondoggle hob, who is
Such a good
uh,
stage manager, Aldebaran.
I know.
the boondoggle hob, sort of
Thank
a bogganish, grumbly W.C. Fields type, uh, comes out and starts gathering up papers and muttering to themselves about, all right, printing up the playbills. All right, which one is it? Bumblebur first? All right, fine. Da, 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 da,
Today it's butter, tomorrow it's bitter.
da. Butter, bitter battles. I don't even know. Mm. Who's your
Bullshit.
ringmaster? Who's yeah that you're right. So who's the ringmaster, the bar the host? Who's talking us through it?
I was about to say, since I'm going to be on for performing in an act this time, I can't really volunteer to ringmaster.
I'll do it. I'll do it. No, not more of me in the show. No. Please, someone get the hook.
All right, Big
Yeah.
A. We'll make sure that we'll make sure you've got the spotlight on you.
Then I will go get ready.
All right.
As if she was
Um,
not already fully ready.
Actually, Anna,
Mhm.
let's say we take our break a little bit early. That way we can hydrate, gather our thoughts, and we can come back in a few, and then, ladies and gentlemen, we start the show. How does that sound?
Sounds good. I will put us into
Sounds great.
I'll put us into BRB for how long, Jason? 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
5 minutes.
For 5 minutes, and I'm gonna run some ads so that we don't have pre-roll. We'll be back. And I think we're back. We look like we're back. And our microphones look like they're on.
Hello.
So
Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming to this part of the Under Hollow Hills session. Can everyone? Can all the players make noises or say something so that we know that your sound is working?
something.
Testing,
The circus?
testing. 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
Delightful. All right. Willowwind, all the people who rushed the ticket table have shown up in
Awesome.
their in their fine outfits, in their party clothes. They have small pouches and little sacks and those sheafs of paper. They're coming in, and they're each of them who has bought their tickets has them to turn in, and those who haven't bought their tickets have their little shavings, their buttons, their seeds, their acorns, just basically pushing stuff toward you. It's a reasonably good take. It's
Okay.
it seems like everyone is at least excited to be here, at least to start with. So they start pushing their way by, and you can hear them chattering with each other. A couple of them are like sort of trying to peer into each other's pockets or whatever, and try to like figure out what kind of gifts they're being given or what gifts they're giving. They're making their way in and filing their way around the ring.
I am keeping an eye out for what was her name? Carrie.
Yeah,
Just
Carrie.
just to see if I spot that individual again anywhere. Are they
Um,
here?
They are. They are.
Close,
Um,
far, where in the audience are
They are. They are seated, um, near the, the gangway. As in when you've got you've got the ring, and you've got the places where like the acts come in and come out.
they?
And she's seated near the gangway.
Okay.
From your position, you can see past her up the road you used to come into the village.
Okay. Anything weird or out of the ordinary on the road?
That's the kind of thing you might use to sniff the wind about, or
Oh,
perhaps
that's
just keep your eye out.
um, let's sniff the wind because, like, why not? I like rolling dice. Um, let
Doesn't
me
hurt.
let me try to use sniff the wind. Let me just double check to see if any of my trappings at all help with this. They don't. I don't think. Mm, yeah, I don't think any of mine do. So I think I just roll like normal. Do I have a minus plus or something in this? And this is sniff the wind. I have a +2. Okay, let's roll 2 dice and see what happens. I rolled an 8. I add a 2 to it, so it's a 10.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
So you've got the play in front of you.
Yep.
You get to ask 2 of those questions.
Okay. What's coming this way?
What's coming this way? You smell. You smell meat and fresh meat and leather and you smell fresh meat and leather. That's what you smell. Something hunterish or ogreish is coming.
Okay. I have a question about a question. So one of the questions that's here is whose territory is this and who's doing?
Yep.
I don't want to ask this in a way that tells me that this territory we are in is Scintilla's territory.
Right.
I want to ask
No,
about
I gotcha.
whose doing is this thing that's coming and what is happening.
Sure. Like I said, sure. So the answer is, whose doing is this? This is the doing of the thing that's coming is self-directed. It is coming at its own will and its own whim. But someone has made it more easy for it to happen, and you can smell it and carry the gar.
Okay. Cool.
And those are your questions.
Those are my questions. I'm gonna, keep a nice mundane eye on that road. I want to see things coming before they're coming or before they're here.
Absolutely. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, I'm going to touch on each of you individually, and then I'm going to start the NPC parade of things. Jillian, are you good to go?
All good.
Cool. How does Aldebaran prepare for the show?
It is a a long and involved process. All of all of their props are set out. I mean, they do a sleight of hand, ledger domain, illusory act. So everything checked, double checked, practiced with, checked again, put in proper place. This goes on for probably about 90 minutes.
Mhm.
Then we get into costume. Their wardrobe, uh, one of their trappings, is a wardrobe that when you reach your hand in, you will pull out the perfect outfit for any occasion. Of course, of course, like many circus night, many circus performances are important. This one seems to have a little bit of mustard on it. So they open their wardrobe, they stick their hand in. Darling, wow me, and pulls their hand back. Would you like to describe what I pull out, or would you like me to?
I would like you to.
All right. At first, it looks like nothing. Like, honestly, like the spell misfired, or the magic didn't work, or something has gone horribly wrong. When the hand comes away, and it comes away with nothing, except if one keeps pulling. And and on the hanger, which of course is a wide-shouldered velvet hanger. Take care of your clothes, people. They will take care of you. Is a very thin, almost sheer, kind of fairy gossamer robe. And as they look at it and they go, well, this is almost X-rated. Thousands of twinkling lights in all colors, but mostly blues and reds and whites. Mostly colors of stars that you would see in the sky start to move in celestial swirls on this fabric. You've outdone yourself, the nightmare horse says to their wardrobe. There is a jewelry store's worth of bracelets and necklaces and a tiara with a jewel in the center that shines like a star. And then there is the makeup. I mean, it would honestly put a lot of makeup influencers, of which I watch none, to shame. Um, but when they are snatched to the gods, I hear that is what the kids say these days. When they are snatched to the gods, then, and only then, will they emerge from their wagon.
Thank you.
You're
Rose Cheek. The Lady Rosemary is stretching and pulling herself into a almost non-Euclidean bend. Uh, the Lady Rosemary is a fine dancer, uh, but also a contortionist. Um, and so she is stretching and pulling herself into unusual forms. And she says, "So what you got going tonight?"
My hope is that I will help through telling a fortune, change the fortune of this town. And with you, as you have helped me and I've helped you in many shows, I am hoping that I can be for you what this town is in a sense for Scintilla Globsum, and vice versa. If you want to do anything that gives it a sort of arachnid feel as part of your contortion work, we could do that as part of the pantomime. But mostly, I am your generous servant, and I will ensure that the visiting dignitary receives the fortune that they deserve and that the town deserves and that others have come to.
I like it. I got some business with an umbrella that I can do.
Oh, that would be lovely. I start trying to do like a little bit of this. I can't do it to the degree that she does it, but
Yeah,
my body doesn't do normal things, so that's fine.
right.
Kind of
Because
works.
you of course have your broom, and she of course has this umbrella that she uses as kind of as sort of a prop for working with.
The one thing I do as a well, actually, Lady Rosemary may have more that she wants to say to me. I should wait on that.
No, this is just sort of setting a moment.
The one thing that Rose Cheek does do is that they take their cards. These cards are used for both divination and for storytelling, which is the interesting thing about them. And they set them down on a piece of fabric that is actually the fabric that they initially found wrapped around their body when they ended up at the fairy circuits. It's one of the very first things they remember. But it's but not anything about it outside of it was with me. And lay the cards down and sort of kneel there, think about them for a long time, and make a mimicry of pricking their finger, despite the fact that they don't bleed, and pressing it down onto the cards as though something about that will imbue them with energy.
I like. Emerald Ash, have you thought of your song?
I have, actually. And in a way, it is acknowledging sometimes the generosity of those around us, and also perhaps an acknowledgement of something that she didn't really think of before.
Is there something that you do before going on stage?
Aside pacing nervously, various vocal warm ups, and I start looking around to see what the firefly population of this place looks like. I know it's kind of a long shot given the heavy spider population, but one can hope.
Um, there are there are some intrepid fireflies that cling to the lower branches. Um, it's not
Mhm.
as dense as in some places you've been, but there are a few.
Mhm.
What would you like of them?
Well, I am hoping that during the course of the song they will be inspired to swirl around, mimicking stars in the night sky that may or may not be visible from the canopy, considering where we're at.
Got it. I'll keep that in mind. All right.
Specifically, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what power that's going to be, but I think I've got some ideas.
Fantastic. All right. In this village, in this place, ladies, gentlemen, beings of all varieties, welcome to the show. Your 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 hub has plastered the trees and the buildings with posters listing the acts. Everyone has gathered. Um, Aldebaran, you said that you would be the ringmaster, the host and guide. How do you start your play?
From almost from nothing, out of thin air, there is a light, like a bright moonbeam that uh, bathes the performing ring in an otherworldly glow. And in that otherworldly glow stands the Nightmare Horse. Ladies, gentle thems, tonight we bring you wonder. Tonight we bring you whimsy. Tonight we bring you magic. On this festival day when gifts are given and received, allow us to present you with the best that fairy has to offer. Allow us to present you us. And the band, does a little flourish. I am told that before our first act tonight, a gift wishes to be given. And I will look around for Nick.
Cool. At this time, I think that you have just made a play for the audience's attention.
I absolutely have.
Fair enough. Are you using are you using a circus power, or are you using a move of your own?
Captivate the audience as a whole, inspiring them to largesse seems pretty on brand.
Absolutely. Um, I think that that sounds reasonable. Um, does anyone want to throw their support behind this move? We have one token from Renee, and any others?
Yeah, I think from me as well.
Okay, you've spent one token. All right, that is three, which is that is two tokens, so a total of three people. That is majority.
Yeah.
All right. Um, what that means is that they share freely what they have in plenty. So, what happens here is the crowd is enraptured and wow. Um, they start, stacking up um, things from their pouches. You find like uh, small polished stones. You find uh, wrapped uh, uh, fruits and apples. You find little carvings in wood. They start sort of stacking them up in piles, and they leave them by the aisleways. Somebody collects them. One of the crew starts gathering them up. You can see they're sort of like carrying them in like an apron draped out this way and sort of like carrying them off. They sort of make little like clowning business as they do it. They make little honking noises and sort of carry things off and like woohoo. Uh, it's a pretty good take actually. Um, while this is happening, uh, Nick um, comes toward the center ring.
I hold my hand. I invite him to take the stage.
Thank you, he says with a smile. I have been. It is my honor to say that my service to the mayor has come to an end. My allegiance has been given. noble of some repute. My new liege, Starfall, will take my oath of loyalty as my gift. Starfall. Yep. There is some polite applause as Starfall, dressed in uh, livery, sword at their hip, walks with confidence up the aisle, and before approaching the full center ring, looks you, Aldebaran, square in the face. Does anyone do anything?
Other than smile politely and plot to plunge Starfall into an ocean and never surface. No.
I don't think I can blurt out.
Are you affronted?
How dare he not love me? How dare? How incredibly dare?
Yeah, I was thinking, like, when you blurt out to someone what you think is going on, I can't say, I think you're being a dink. Like, that's not how this ability works.
No.
No,
It's a slightly different.
That is an opinion as
Can,
opposed to a statement of fact.
Yes, unless they turned into an actual eggplant. Is one able to size someone up just sort of from observing this happening?
Absolutely.
I would like to roll some dice and size
Absolutely,
that
you may.
person up because I don't know what they're up to and I want to know.
Yep.
Okay. Dice don't suck. Why are you sucking dice? I'm adding 2 to you, so it's 5 plus 2, so it's at least a 7.
It's at least a 7. Okay, so let's see here, and you're going with size someone up.
Yes.
Okay. Let's
I get 1 question. What do they intend to do?
They intend to take Nick and bring them into their employ, and they intend to show the Nightmare Horse that they can keep things with them, whether they like it or not.
Okay.
That is in fact what you perceive.
That son of a. That's what I thought.
There is a moment.
Wait, Renee,
Starfall.
you are
Go ahead.
muted.
Emerald Ashes, yeah.
Nope, still muted. Now I can. Now we hear you.
Yep.
So, where's my clack friend? Because that was some shade. So they're on storage. I know exactly where they are.
All right. If no one acts, then
You know what? I respect Aldebaran too much. Do you say anything? Are you open to having said something, Willowwind?
Oh yes,
About
yes, I have said these things.
I'm the closest thing we have to a jester here that's not an actual jester at the moment. So, like, sure. they're doing the thing.
Yep, they're doing they're while this is happening, Nick is busy removing his items of office for the mayor. He's just
They
yep.
they raise their hand like
No.
nearly like a child might, as though waiting to be called on by whoever is in charge. And I mean that's Aldebaran, but that's also other people.
Like the head just sort of. They give you this look, a very WTF look at what?
I am trying to figure out if this is going to turn into blurting out something you think is going on or confronting someone, because boy howdy am I better at one of those than the other. Ooh.
Hmm.
Sure. I think, yeah. You know what? This might end up being confront them rather than blurt out what you think is going on.
Are you expressing
I-
yourself in capering antiques?
I don't know that this is capering.
Oh, okay.
It's a little sassier than a caper.
Okay.
The capering is much more like Daffy Duck, Woo,
Oh
woo.
my god.
But
I don't know.
So, but I would, in fact, like to, can I use some of my trappings in my confronting?
you can tell me how.
Okay.
Like presume that you are at your spot where you would normally be during the show. This is happening in the center ring. What do you have with you, and what will you do?
Okay, yeah, sure. What I have with me is the friendly yellow jacket who makes their nest in my elbow, because they seem to probably be with me all of the time.
Oh my god.
It's literally there. It's in the playbook, apparently.
I
Oh,
know.
I believe you.
Yeah, this is Eric the half of B.
This is Erica Hathaway. I raise out. They say what? I go. Excuse me. I have a question for. Did they give Starfall's title at all?
It's the he just said my liege.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's it's the
Then-
it's the he did not say Duke Starfall or
Sure.
or Baron Starfall.
I have a question for the Liege Starfall, which is to say, when you have a being, and they point to the bee, the point is to be kind and generous and take care and not be cloying in your association with them, to not show the possessiveness of this. After all, you have the expanse of the stars behind you, just as she does. So I don't understand why you would decide to make such a point involving someone who has done nothing to you, who has, as far as I can tell, caused you no harm, and who doesn't have anything to do with why you have made the decision you have. I care about Eric, and I think you might care too, but this isn't how to do that. That's not how you show somebody you care about. You do it together, not at them.
All right.
I don't know what that is. It's probably to confront.
I think that you are playing the confrontation game at this time.
Yeah, it's a very gentle confrontation, but yes.
Sure.
I need dice.
So, yeah. So
if I understand correctly, the trapping raises a partial success to a full success and a non-success to a partial success.
I think it's just
Is
a
that my
plus.
understanding?
No, I thought it was just a +1.
I was doing a +1.
It's just
for
a
it.
+1.
Okay, that's fair too.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought I saw in a full description. I was like,
No,
that's
it
a
was-
whole class of upwing, and that
No,
seemed like a lot.
it's one of those things of it's not especially clear, but
Let's go. This is good too. Please be. Ugh. 7, so it's still a partial success.
yep, absolutely.
With the plus
okay.
These dice do not roll well in this setting.
All right. Okay. So they look a little flustered, and they go, "I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about. I have chosen to take on Nick Pluck as my companion, my squire, my majordomo. I don't see anything that would. It's a gift. We give gifts here, stranger. And so I don't see any problem with someone deciding to go with me, especially if they will be well taken care of and cared for.
I'm trying to remember what I get with a partial for this.
The partial is they're gonna try and mollify you and justify it, as opposed to like it's the with a partial it's the they do stop what they're doing, uh, but in normally on a full success it's they either have to uh, give you what you want or force your hand and say basically no, we're gonna fight about it.
Oh God,
And
I'm not sure I want that
yeah,
anyway.
well, the third option is we're gonna try and uh, like like not give you what you want, but also not quite basically it's a partial system that like you do stop them from doing it,
Okay,
but
so
like they are basically trying to justify what they're doing and cover for the social awkwardness.
the way they field it is,
Yeah.
so long as he is okay with it. I not saying you can't. I just think you might want to have a talk person to person if there's any other connections to this that there might possibly be. Not saying that there is leash.
Of course. Uh, I'm not sure what to call you, but I will I will keep that in mind.
This is not exactly the polyamory discussion, but this is basically that you should be talking to people about your feelings discussion and not involving weird ass third party like allotment of people. Like that's basically all they're going for. They're not going to stop him.
I am an elf and I live for drama. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep. Well, that's fine. They have made their point enough and conceded it enough for his comfort. Hopefully.
Cool. Fair enough. Rose Cheek has played their play. Does anyone else want to play a play before Nick walks off? In that case, Nick strips himself of the regalia of the mayor and puts on the brooch that Starfall has offered. He pins it to his vest, and he looks around. Is Emerald Ash invisible from this part of the stage?
I mean, if you can't see them, they can't see you. She's definitely in the wings. She's paying attention to this, but mostly paying attention to Aldebaran's reaction, actually.
Right. So if he cannot see you, then he sort of slumps his shoulders a little bit, pats his pocket, and begins to walk off stage.
I will stay. I'll stay them.
Okay.
Would you like to do that now?
My apologies. Who are you saying that to?
Oh, to Nick.
Oh, thank you. Can I?
If she's willing. And I will look over to Emerald.
Who was momentarily distracted by warm-ups, but saw that Aldebaran was trying to get her attention and comes like, oh, did I miss my cue? Oh, hello, Nick. I see. You will be happy.
This is in front of everybody.
Yep, sure is.
Whole town.
Do you want to take it? Or should I send him to
No,
you?
she's actually come out at this point.
Oh, okay.
She's actually
Well,
talking. Oh, I see.
Then I will step back.
Yep. There's a small smattering of pause of you coming out and like,
We should like curtsy and then. Will this make you happy?
Oh,
to Nick this.
Yes, yes. Nick thinks and says, "It will be a comfort in the days to come." And he takes out a what looks like a pincushion, hand sewn, stuffed with seeds, and says, "So you can put your pins and your brooch and any other things that will."
Thank you very much. This will be very useful as I'm having to mend quite a few costumes. Thank you. She performs as graceful a curtsy as she can muster.
He gives a long bow and says, "I am glad to have met you, and I look forward to your song." And with that, he begins to go back to the seating area where the elves are sitting. And he folds himself up, pulling his knees up to his chest, because he's very long limbed and these are very small chairs. And he sits down. And your intrepid aerialists are here. Their their costumes are finely sewn. Their faces are clean. Their hair is done. They are doing the sort of like leapfrogging one over the other to get to the center ring.
Is the hair overdone? Because if one, I'm going to reach out and kind of muss it a little bit so it's not too perfect.
Yeah, it was, and you can.
Nope, that's too much.
All right.
Gentles, now for your entertainment, we present the aerialists. And she looks both of them right in the eyes. Bitterbur and Butterbomb. She absolutely transposes their names.
No, and you absolutely do. All right, that sounds like a move of some kind. What is it you're hoping to do here?
I am hoping. Out of the plays I have, I'm going to disarm the situation.
They're not actually ready for a fight.
Sweet. Then I don't have a play.
Okay, cool.
Then I don't have a play.
You just decide to insult them for the heck of it. Fair enough. Okay, cool.
They'll get me back, I'm sure.
Yep, absolutely. They you can see like you can almost see the steam coming out of their noses, but All right. They begin
almost like miss me with your petty first act shit.
Yeah.
I cannot.
I mean, that could very well be putting them off.
I could put them off. Oh, but I don't really want to.
All right. If you do not want to, then you're not doing it.
I really
That's
don't
fine.
want to.
This is fine. It can just be banter. That is okay. There's no aim for this.
I'm so good at banter.
It's true. So they begin to do their leaps, their jumps, their silk affairs. While this act is happening, does anyone want to use a circus power during their act?
I will be.
Okay, what's your power?
Because I lose the page. I want to try to give this place its voice.
Okay. All right. All right. Give this place its voice. Does anyone want to throw their support behind that?
This is where you're doing that as opposed to through your own act, right? That's not in
Yes.
addition.
Oh, I
Yes.
thought
This is.
I thought you were.
It is
okay.
every.
I'm
Every.
so
Every.
confused.
Okay. Every player gets to use one circus power during the show. It does not
Right.
have to be during your
Oh.
act, but you only get one.
Okay, I thought you were just asking us to tell everybody if we were going to be using one. Not.
Yeah, I misunderstood that it was like generic powers, not the power we use either from our act or another. But that makes sense. That's what I was doing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm super confused, but okay. I'm not doing anything that pertains to the contortionists or acrobats doing
So-
their thing.
So
Okay.
it sounds like, yeah. So for this act, no one else here is using a circus power, correct? I think we're all
Nope.
saving it for our individual acts.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Are you, the acts the aerialists do their thing? I think they are basically. Let's see here. Would any you can use them to make an obvious play that doesn't cost you anything if you want to see if you want to use them to put forward something in the show. You could sort of draw someone out. You could call for a line, but they could also just be this is a thing that is happening. All right.
Yeah.
As the aerialists are on stage, Willowwind,
Mhm.
you hear it first. A set of heavy footfalls coming up the road.
Okay. Do I see anything yet?
Yep, you can see a sort of a set of three shadows. Big folk. Like the shortest one is as tall as a tall man, 6'8", 6'9". The tallest of them is probably like Sweetum's height, 8 foot, 9 foot. Wookiee big, broad
Okay.
and muscular. They are wearing leather trousers, heavy shirts, thick-soled boots with metal caps, and they themselves have caps on, peaked ones, just and they are coming up the road.
Do they look like they are a danger to the circus or the town? I'm sort of assuming, but like
They look dangerous. You're not certain if they are a danger.
How many acts do we have before intermission?
2. Well, now that the aerialists are done,
One.
and then me.
Okay, one, then you, then the intermission. Okay. I'm gonna let the people who are also backstage, i.e., the PCs, know what I'm seeing, and then I'm gonna just like make my way around at the back of the audience to where I'm seeing the road from, so that I'm kind of like where they are between the circus and the people approaching up the road.
Yep.
I've got time
You
before I have to
move to
go
an
do something.
You move to an advantageous position.
I move to a place where I can do the thing where I can hopefully make the danger not come past me.
Okie doke. What's the next act on the run?
Presenting for you Trix, of daring do and dangerous dexterity. Annie Buckeye.
Mm-hmm.
And Annie's gonna do, like knife throwing and pellet shooting, William Tell type shit. Um, you know,
Okay. Nope, no problem. Annie Buckeye's kind of like an Annie Oakley type. That kind of works. Um, Annie Oakley is rather Annie Buckeye is. I mean, she's from Ohio. Um,
Of course.
yeah, I mean, I mean, she may actually be like one of the humans that travels with the show. There aren't many, but
Right.
there's some rootin' tootin' activity. Um, there are it's there's some stomp and clap and cheers. Stuff gets thrown, stuff gets shot. There's definitely the sound of sound of bow strings twanging and knives hitting wood, and um there's even a prop gun that sort of makes a big bang when you shoot it. Meanwhile, um, the three trolls, no relation to Andy Kirschbaum.
That comes later. After we vanquish them, they will open a gaming store.
Right. So yeah, the three trolls make their way to the outer edges of the ring where you have positioned yourself. And they move to stride past you and take seats. What do you do?
Well, I need to find out what their intentions are.
Okay.
I'm trying to
Also,
remember.
did they buy tickets?
I didn't buy tickets.
No, they did not buy tickets. Um, I think that's a size somebody up. So I would like to
Sure is.
size them up, please.
Okay.
Hang on. I have dice. 5 plus 2 is 7.
7. That
Dice.
sounds like one question.
Dice. Dice. Why? Okay. Ooh, which of these do I want to ask? Advice appreciated from other players.
That sounds like calling for a line.
Oh, what is that? What does that mean?
Line.
Yep, absolutely. That is a play that you can make. You can ask the other players for suggestions for your next play, or yeah, or help in
Okay.
reaching an outcome. You can
Oh.
basically the I can choose to ask the players for help. That is a thing you can do in this game that's in the rules.
Woohoo!
Okay, I didn't know I needed rules for that, but I will totally ask for help.
You would be surprised what this game, what Powered by the Apocalypse games will give you rules for. It's
Yep.
explicit permission to do things you might feel weird about doing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I would like to ask for suggestions, please, for which question I
Well,
should ask.
considering they didn't buy a ticket, it might be a good idea to see what kind of security and or roustabouts might be available to make sure that they either A, buy a ticket, or B, get the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I need to ask them a question from the size someone up list.
Okay.
I just don't know whether I
So,
should ask them what they intend to do, because like they intend to see the show. I don't know, or whether I should ask like, what do they hope will happen, and what do they fear, and how prepared are they for that? Because I sort of want to see like, are they here to see the show? Are they here to pick a fight? Are they here to?
It sounds like what they intend to do is kind of what you're going for, so I do recommend that if that's what you're looking for.
Okay. Anybody else have an opinion?
Especially if it seems like they're built for trouble, or if they're just here to see a show.
Right.
That seems pretty good to me, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jason, then I will ask that last question.
Sure. Okay. The question, the last question or the first question?
The what do they hope will happen? What do they fear? And how prepared are they for each? Right. That's what you were saying,
Gotcha.
Renee. I think.
Okay.
No, I was asking what do they intend to do. That was
Oh.
the question that I was suggesting.
Okay. Then I'll ask that.
But you don't have to take the suggestion. You can ask for the suggestion, but still make another decision if you like.
No,
So
I
if
think
you decide that you want to do the thing, then do the thing.
no. I think I'll go with the what do you intend to do?
What do you intend to do? They intend to. Uh, they intend to stay around until the show is over, and then collect tribute from the village.
Ooh.
Also, what I thought.
Yay!
That is what they
The
intend to
less
do.
bad. The less bad option.
That is the less bad option. Hmm. That probably means I don't have to do anything about them right this second. I think. We just double check.
You
My
should
song
make
choice
them buy
just
a ticket.
changed again.
What? I did not hear you because you both spoke at the same time. What?
Make them buy a ticket.
Okay.
No ticket.
Yes, I believe we throw people off the boat for that.
Yes.
If they're gonna take tribute, we're gonna take as much from them as as we possibly can.
Okay. Well. Hang on 1 second. I am just checking. Jason, I think if I want to sort of go like, hey dudes, you have to buy a ticket, that is a confrontation.
It is, or at least I agree with you that that's what it is.
Great. Well, I have with me this clearly made for dancing sword as opposed to for swording, but I do have it, and I can
You do.
use it as a thing, vaguely menacingly, and I can tell them, tickets, please? And sort of just, stand there in the door with
Yep.
myself and my sword and my +1.
Absolutely, you can.
My plus
Sounds like you're confronting them.
two, my 2 + 2 actually, because I get an extra 1 for having a sword.
Yep.
Okay, dice.
Well, having this sword is the thing. Well, that's pretty
Excellent.
impressive.
That's an 8 + 2 is 10.
Absolutely, it is.
What does that mean on a confrontation?
Well, what it means is, either they have to give you what you want, or start a fight about it.
Okay. Sure, me and 3 trolls. Let's see which way they go.
They look at you. They look down at you.
Mhm.
There's 3 of them. They're like, tickets. They reach in and pull out like an amount of currency that would be good enough for like 6 people. Like they realize they take up more space than most people do. So they're like,
I will take their whatever they're offering. I'd let them in. Excellent.
and they look around. And they start looking menacingly at the audience and trying to find a place to sit.
Mm.
And eventually they make their way over to carry the gar. And they sit on their haunches menacingly behind her since they're too big for the chairs.
Great.
How's the show? Have they done the clowns yet? Like the clowns. Do they have any animal acts? If there are any animals there, I want to eat them. Yes, these are in fact those kind of patrons.
Awesome.
Ah, yes. Those kinds of trolls. Got it.
I mean, they're in fact like bridge trolls and like audience trolls. So, but
Yep.
they're currently not drunk, and they're not actively causing trouble right now.
Perfect.
All right, so that happens. The you know the Annie Buckley, uh, Annie Buckeye rather, makes her way off the stage. There is applause. Nobody does anything during this act. Uh, then I believe it is our Nightmare Horse.
Mm-hmm. Who has never gone on before intermission in their fucking life?
All right, what is the show?
Like the end of the
So,
show.
so we start simple. There is a table. There are 3 cups, and on them 3 spheres: an amethyst sphere, a ruby sphere, and a sapphire sphere. And I won't say it's patter because I'm way too dignified for patter, but it is educational
Oh my god.
because I've done shows all around the world. I've been to Egypt and China and the Court of the Fair and the Court of the Fowl, and every place I went to had a trick about the cups and the balls. In China, they had metal cups, and the cups turned to metal.
Thought you
In
said it was
India,
China.
yeah, they can be China. They switch. In India, there were wooden cups, but this is the land of Scintilla Globesome. So I will use web, and they change. And the cups are just solid web. The stone I will place in my hand, lift up the cup, and it will vanish because that's what it appears to do. Here's a little variation. They take the ball. I place it in my hand. I show you underneath the cup, yet it still appears underneath the cup. Now, if I did the center ball, place it visibly center a cup, then anywhere else the balls would be, look, they still reappear, and then all 3 stones are in the center cup. She does this whole thing, giving a lesson on how the cups and balls are presented in worlds both human and fairy. The balls get progressively bigger. First they are, like stone sized, then they are baseball sized. The cups get a little more transparent, like the webbing falls away, then they are glass, then they are crystal. And at the end, at the end of it, she is prestidigitating like softball size gems, talking about chickens and eggs, and just hoping. I mean, she's okay, trolls, do it. Okay, come on, heckle me. She's
All right. In that case, make the confrontation roll.
okay. Yeah, we're gonna fight about it. All right, because I have 0. Uh, Nightmare
Well, I
Horse
mean,
is
if you're
actually,
if you're trying to egg them on, that's probably the
yeah,
way.
I got a 6. It's a flat 6 because as fearsome as the Nightmare Horse is, I actually did not stat them to be any good in a fight
Well,
whatsoever.
it's not about being a. I mean, you're not like trying to waylay somebody, but you're trying to. All right. Okay, so you start like throwing like softball line openings for the trolls, and they're like, I've seen better tricks in Okay, let's see here. Can I say that line? Probably not. I've seen better
Don't get
tricks
us banned.
yeah.
Yes.
I've seen better tricks at children's birthday parties. I've
I once performed at a child's birthday party. Let me tell you, they are incredibly, incredibly horrendous audiences because children love magic. You see, when I make a bird appear, like out of a hat, but actually, I'm like, it's from the robe. When I make a bird appear from a hat, oh, that wasn't a hat. But when I make a bird appear from the hat, they think there are more birds inside the hat that there really are. Then they worry about the birds. Then they want to look in the hat for all the birds that are trapped in the hat. The act is completely busted. And then I have to segue. But back to the cups and the balls. What's really fascinating is a variation in America where they have it's,
and
she
we proceed.
continues.
And we proceed. Okay, so here's what goes wrong. You are definitely okay. What was you were intending to try and bait them to do something particular? What did you hope would happen?
I I want them honestly, I want them to be they can be as nuisancey as they want, but I'm going to set them up to be the pinnacle of my trick.
Okay, fair enough. Um, you begin to lure them to lead them down your garden path. Okay, they are easily swayed and cowed, but their accomplice, the river folk, she is not so fooled.
I mean,
And
as one river folk to another.
she puts down her comb and folds her hands neatly and watches. All right, you move through the body of your trick. What's the what's the grand finale? What's the punchline?
Some might say that as this trick gets bigger and more complex, that I'm of course pulling the balls out of my ass. No,
Ow. That
I'm
seems like it would
actually
hurt.
pulling them out of theirs. And underneath the three big trolls are like these like like little kids ball size, like little like therapy ball sized eggs. They're not real eggs. They're like kind of like glittery kind of stones, but
Right.
boop, 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 like all of a sudden, boop, there they are. Like they are they're right there. They're uncomfortable. They're pristine, and they are sitting. They are sitting. No, I don't pull things out of my ass. I pull things out of theirs.
There we go. And so it's a great laugh line, and even they are uh uh you know they guffaw in spite of themselves.
Is
I
that
take a
And
companion?
then
big, I take a big bow.
okay, the laughter dies down, and then there's some applause, and of course the last. Do you want to use one of your circus? Do you want to use a circus power for this act?
I've used mine.
Oh, that's right, you did.
I have. Yep, at the beginning,
Yep,
I wanted
yep,
them to
yep,
give
yep.
me shinies. They did.
Absolutely, and they did, and they did. All right, and at that point, we are at intermission.
Hmm.
Yep.
And
And
during intermission, I have
the
something I'd like.
dandywood players during intermission are going to present the courtship of Hippolyta.
Absolutely, fanciful acting. Uh, what is their tone? Serious or comic?
Oh, it's comedic. It's
Okay,
completely it's the courtship of Hippolyta is basically Midsummer Night's Dream, or at
got it.
least the first part of it.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, there, the audience is watching them. the things are being set up for the second act. And the trolls are, have gotten up. They're watching the they're watching, out of the side of their eyes, but they are moving their way around the audience, who have come to, they've come to take breaks and eat snacks and get provisions and all the assorted things. And you can see, yes,
There is something that I would like to do over the intermission.
okay, cool.
There is
I
a
am.
particular play for the Feather Cloak, which is Watch for Your Chance.
Ooh, very good.
Specifically, watching for exactly how their plans may or may not change over the course of the rest of the show. So basically, I need to roll
Sure do.
to start that out, and I
Uh-huh.
have a +2 to that, so I am gonna go ahead and do that now and hope I get something good. 7 on the dice is okay with a +2 to that. That is a 9.
Yep. Cool.
On any
So-
hit, I get to choose one of the following to tell
Yep.
you. So,
Mhm.
if they make it clear they are still planning on exacting tribute
Mhm.
from folks after the show, I'm going to notice it or realize it pretty much at once. If it does, I do song A. If it doesn't, I do song B.
Okay. So just to clarify, you want to change your act based on what they do after the show? I'm not sure I follow.
More on the lines of if their intentions to continue. If by the time my act starts, it seems clear that they are still intending to take stuff from the villagers, then I will do song A.
Absolutely. In fact, as you prepare, as you're watching for your chance, you can see that they're
Mhm.
starting early. Like they are like starting to
Oh.
like loom and intimidate over people. They're not taking anything now, but they are. It's the nice statue. Shame if something were to happen to it. It's gift giving day, and we're it's like we've traveled so far, and wouldn't it be nice of you to we have some meat, we have some foodstuffs. Surely you'd like to give us that. So there's a lot of that happening in intermission. So as
Got
you
it.
watch, you see that.
Oh, fuck them in particular. All right,
Along
so
with those 6
song
fish.
A it is. Song A it is. All right, thank you. Okay.
As opposed to song 2. Woohoo!
The song B, but yeah, close enough.
Well, no, the Blur song is song 2.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
After this, I want to know what all the song choices that you were considering were.
Oh yeah, I will absolutely tell folks.
Yay. Okay.
Okay. While intermission is happening, while they're doing their thing, anyone else taking any particular plays? Anyone doing anything while this is happening?
Not yet.
I am attuning
Alright.
for my
Unfortunately, I do
divination
have
in
to
real time.
tell-
Sorry.
I do unfortunately have to tell the Fireflies that for my act, their services are no longer rendered, but feel free to provide sparkling lights for the rest of the town.
Absolutely. They gather into a cloud, a small like coalescing, kneading cloud, and then they flutter off into the audience and then kind of hover in different spaces. You can feel the night getting slowly darker as the lights that you guys have strung get brighter to compensate. Intermission is nearly done. Who's the next act?
Me.
Yes.
Okay. Willowwind, you come back in and you are there after intermission is done.
Yes.
People have come back to their seats. There is a certain amount of, the trolls have come back. Their sacks are more full than they had been. They sit back and they have brought with them, like, skins of wine that they're slugging from.
No, no.
Oh, now the trolls are getting drunk. That's a thing. That's a thing that's happening. Okay, so I am
All right,
assuming. I'm assuming that I have found somebody in the circus to sit on the side and like play a musical instrument.
Sure. Some kind of stringed instrument.
Yeah, I think what I
it's
want is
you know
a hurdy-gurdy and a doombeck.
okay. Those are fine things to have. Let's
Yeah.
see here. Who is available for that? Let's see here. We haven't done anything with with Timble the Plum. He could do it. So Timble the Plum and actually, you know what? It's your act. So Mommy Sorrel is also there doing
Oh,
music.
excellent. Very cool.
She
So
has a sort of she plays the doombeck. Timble the Plum will do the hurdy-gurdy.
okay, awesome. So we're gonna go here for a dance with balancing a sword on one's head. It is a kind of belly dancing sort of thing. Lots of flowing, silky outfit parts to do the right thing with it. So I have one of my trappings is a fine sword, named and stashed thoughtlessly somewhere. The somewhere was in
Well, you
with my
found it, so,
costumes. But yes, this is my fine sword, and
Yep.
I will dance with this thing balanced on my head. I am charming and things. It
Sure,
says so on my
absolutely.
sheet. Um,
Yep.
Specifically, I want to sort of dance such that I kind of gather everybody's attention and convey the idea that you can sometimes speak through motions and not through words, because the thing I want to do as part of this is give this place its voice,
Okay.
whatever that might be.
Sure. All right. You do. Um, does anyone want to throw a token of support behind this move?
We get 2, right?
Get to
Correct.
Not counting
So-
presumably nominally supporting oneself,
Yes.
essentially.
Right.
Okay.
You don't need a vote for your own stuff.
Right.
So
yes.
so you are giving one, and Sammy is giving one, so that is a total of 3. Okay. So that is a majority voice.
I
okay.
couldn't hear
All
you.
right.
Over that last time.
Oh, Renee, did you say something? Sorry.
I was asking if Jilly gave her because I thought I saw a hand raiser now.
Because you two did, I will
Okay.
wait so that everyone gets 3. I think.
Mm,
Yeah. It
Yeah.
is still not unanimous, but that works. Okay. Cool. So here is what happens. You reach out, you do your performance, and you ask this place to speak. There is the sound of it is a tired sounding, whispering, clicking voice, like a skeleton that is sitting up and speaking for the first time in years. And it says, This place, we take care of each other. We give to those who need. And when we have nothing more to give, we sleep. We are the quiet ones. We are in service. The people hear this voice and they look to their neighbors and they sort of nod and they give more gifts to each other until everyone has a little bit more than they started with, and nobody seems to be, if they are not, no one feels like they've been hard done by, and nobody feels um, overloaded. You know?
And the trolls?
The trolls, they watch because the trolls are not of this place.
Mm-hmm.
When the
Mm.
town speaks, they don't listen.
Do they hear?
Everyone hears, they just don't listen.
Okay. Okay.
And so the town has spoken. And with that, you finish your act.
Yep.
And do you sheath your sword or keep it out?
I keep it out.
Okay. Who's next in the lineup?
A winsome rose and her thorns, ladies and gentlemen. Presenting now for the enjoyment of all, a voice incomparable, warbling tunes and fascinating feathers, the one, the only, Emerald Ash.
And I'm going to preface this with a couple of small cues here. First of all, when the chorus of the song starts, because my trapping doesn't say specifically what type of bird I can turn into,
It's true.
during the chorus, I will turn into a phoenix of green flame and
Huh.
fly about the space, doing various acrobatic flying techniques as I go. That said, because there are certain individuals who have made themselves an unpleasant presence, the flames will get particularly close and perhaps a little too hot for the trolls and for Carrie.
All right.
Music swells. Waiting in the rubble, walking over glass. Neighbors say we're trouble. Well, that time has passed. Peering from the mirror, no, that isn't me. Strangers getting nearer. Who can this person be? You wouldn't know me at all today. From the fading light I fly, rise like a phoenix, out of the ashes seeking rather than vengeance. Retribution, you were warned. Once I'm transformed, once I'm reborn, you know I will rise like a phoenix, but you're my flame. Go about your business, act as if you're free. No one could have witnessed what you did to me, 'cause you wouldn't know me today, and you have got to see to believe. From the fading light I fly, rise like a phoenix, out of the ashes seeking rather than vengeance. Retribution, you were warned. Once I'm transformed, once I'm reborn, I rise up to the sky. You threw me down, but I'm gonna fly and rise like a phoenix, out of the ashes seeking rather than vengeance. Retribution, you were warned. Once I'm transformed, once I'm reborn, you will know I will rise like a phoenix, but you're my flame. And with a flourish, the flames of her wings go out, and she is back to her normal, plain old, feather cloak, humanoid self. As far as the move I would like to do for this is specifically change someone's fortune by name.
Whose?
Carries.
Ooh.
All right. Fantastic. What is
The change
what
in
is it you'd
question,
like to change in them?
understanding that what they have is enough. And that encouraging others to take more than they should is a mistake. Imbue a sense of generosity in her that she has not seen before.
All right. Does anyone support this move? All three of you? All four of you? All right. Unanimity. All right. That means, yeah. It means that it happens almost immediately. Everyone, including Carrie, starts to think of herself and starts to think of Carrie as generous, as of modest nature. If you look closely, her sharp teeth seem to be, well, less fang-like. And it's almost like, was she ever really like that? Maybe it was just something we didn't understand. Maybe it was like she was like this all along. You have changed her fortune. All right. I think we have one act remaining. Is that correct?
That is correct. Aldebaran is a little late, almost missing their cue. As almost unabashedly they stare in wonder, and it's just like, oh, I'm on.
Aldebaran does, in fact, get a little kiss on their cheek on the way out. In front of everyone.
Oh,
Ooh.
Take that,
Titter,
Star
titter,
Doll.
titter, gossip, gossip, gossip. Okay.
I don't say that in character.
Well, have we a treat? Have we another treat for you tonight? Last and certainly not least, a pantomime and perhaps a prediction from our own Rose Cheek.
There is some smattering of applause, but everyone looks up first. And shimmying down, using the frames that the silks had been hung from, her several hands grasping at the pole, lowering herself down, landing on several feet, adjusting her very large sunglasses. Mayor Scintilla Globesome, who takes the spotlight for a moment and says, I want to thank this fantastic troupe for all they have brought to us tonight. When they leave this place, they too will be blessed. They will get all the good things that will come to us and to them in this coming year. Now, I had heard that there might be a place for me in this final act, so I've made a special visit touching the ground. So please, Rose, enthrall us with your act.
We start off with a pantomime, which is Lady Rosemarie and Rose Cheek. Lady Rosemarie is continuing to do some of her work, which is between dance and contortion work. She moves about the stage with a grace and fluidity that Rose Cheek does not quite have, but the way in which Rose Cheek moves has a sort of mimicry to hers. There is something in it that is how perhaps a clockwork person might try to replicate the smoother moves of a living human being. And in doing so, there is a match to it, but it is not quite the same thing. As part of this pantomime, you can tell that Lady Rosemarie is the liege essentially in charge, and Rose Cheek assists her, but also Scintilla Globesome is brought into it. A chair is moved in place to ensure that she has somewhere to be, and that she is essentially the guest at the end of this pantomime, indicating that these two nobles of different sorts are meeting for each other, and Rose Cheek, as part of their gift and their final performance, is going to offer a reading. And this is how that goes. Once upon a time, there was a village. This village was full of good and generous people, people who understood the joy in sharing what they have with each other, and in understanding that there are times of bounty and that there are times of rest. And in this village, some very strong people showed up. They themselves had some things of their own, some things perhaps that they were prepared to share, but may not necessarily do so without asking things in return, perhaps a little bit more than one might actually assume. Food, for example. They came and they wanted to see the show, they wanted to enjoy the environment of the village, but in doing so, they brought their own tone and tenor to the place, and in doing so, had a way in which they felt as though they might change it by their presence. It was almost as if the village was under a spell, something that might require them, as part of their nature, to overextend themselves and see that others might get a little bit more than what they might normally be able to give before resting in their endless winter until spring finally came again. But something was revealed. A show, a wonder, a joy. something that was shared between the members of a circus and everyone else within its realm. And in doing so, they found that the need broke. That act of generosity was shared between everyone else, and the energy within it flew between the four corners of the village and found itself in amplification of the power of generosity that this village held. And in doing so, there was a transformation of Scintilla Globesome in the way in which she might feel most comfortable, and in a way in which helps the village. A transformation of her choosing. Scintilla Globesome, they say, their eyes focusing on her. Your village, through you, finds that the craving, the hunger whose teeth bear upon your townsfolk, teeth like the teeth of a comb, is broken as a fast breaks, and through your power it no longer shall need to take as much from you and your people as it might once have. Changing someone's fortune by name.
Okay. So, what change do you want to evoke in her, specifically?
Scintilla Globesome, like any leader within the Fae Courts, is a representative of the land they are in. In doing so, she holds a special purview over this place, which is a place of generosity. In doing so, there is something in her. Spiders are in fact very prolific creatures that will allow, especially with some of the other changes that have occurred, her to have what they have present within the village, and it is almost as though it is multiplicative in that which they can give without reducing from it. It is like the horn of everlasting food. They don't necessarily need to give in a way that reduces too much from each other, because all of that energy has been balanced before through both the song and the dance that was done prior to ensure that everyone had an equal amount.
Okay. And who's throwing support behind this one? Anyone have any coins left to spend?
I do.
Okay. So
I had been
one.
hoping that
So
yeah.
so
Yeah.
so one from Jilly and anyone
I'm
else?
I'm out of tokens.
That I figured we were going to get to the end and most of them would be
No,
spent.
it is totally fine, but that's still
Yeah.
that's still
It's a
I
split.
it's a
don't know if
split.
50%
That's
counts
fine.
as a majority.
Split majority is
It
tied.
does in America.
That's true.
Yeah, because you get the split or
Sure.
majority.
So the answer is that this is a change that will take place. Um, it can happen. It will be slow, and it doesn't happen immediately, and people still remember how it used to be. But the fortune is changed, and this village will have a more balanced view going forward. And with that, we reach the end of the show. Before we bid farewell to this village, does anyone have any questions for me or for any of the NPCs about how things will fare afterward?
What do the trolls end up taking and doing?
I think the trolls should probably get the fuck out.
Yeah,
What's that?
I'm
What'd you
hoping the
say?
trolls get the fuck out.
yeah.
I mean,
That's my
I mean,
hope.
they do get the fuck out. I mean, they do take an awful lot. There is, I mean, that is.
My
They
hope
were
was that
not.
there would be more that they could take from
Yes.
through the act, and I
Sure.
don't know if that actually functioned.
The answer is that, like, yes, there is more they could take, and the village is not as left as impoverished as it would have been otherwise. It is they take the trolls are still greedy, but the trolls do not despoil the place, and they do not do so with violence, which is an option that was available to them.
Mm.
And with Carrie having changed her nature, there is no one to let them into the secret sacred stores. So they take stuff because they're trolls and they're hungry, but they do not do the kind of harm they might have otherwise done.
Okay. Excellent. I don't have to get into a fight.
You don't. I mean, you did not have to, and you did not get to, depending on how you look at it.
And I'm assuming we're sticking around at least for a little bit after the circus. We're not immediately leaving. And if they decide that they get too greedy, there'll be green flame is
typically
a
what happens
warning.
is, like, of course. I mean, typically, like, it is in the nature of the circus that once the show is done, you pack up your tents and you head off to the next town. And there is what is the end of session news? Okay. I'm gonna ask you each a question. Um, I will start with Sammy, since she did the most recent last performance. I'm gonna go up my scale. Um, how did the events of the show affect you, and are you stepping toward winter because of this event?
When you say affect you, do you mean affect Rose Cheek, or do you mean affect the player?
What's that?
Do you mean affect Rose Cheek or the player?
I mean to say Rose Cheek because
Gotcha.
right.
They learned that protection and cherishing is something that you have to do with other people. Whether it have to be with Nick, even if their actions, did not have the full brunt of the effect that they were hoping for, or different aspects of the show handling the particular dynamic going on in the town in different ways to much better effect than they would have been on their own. It's very much teamwork makes the dream work kind of vibe. And I think that that's mostly what Rose Cheek came away with is information plus that equals success.
Cool. And will Rose Cheek be stepping toward winter?
Yes, actually.
What
About
changes?
one step. Okay, that is over here. Possibly not for the reasons one might expect, but they do. At present, their doll-like face changes into a carefully painted mask.
So noted. Jillian, what did Aldebaran take away from this show?
There is not always, but there is danger in letting yourself be too visible. There is, when you give of yourself in the performing arts, there is always a chance that someone will see it as an invitation to take what is not offered. So, as a performer, I think Aldebaran learned to tone it down, and as a being, they learned to be selective about what is given and who it is given to.
Lovely. And do they take a step toward winter?
In fact, if there were any way that they could go more towards summer, they would, but I don't think that's possible.
No, you are currently in full summer, and that is fine. Renee, Emerald Ash, what did they take away from this show?
They took she took a lot more disappointment out of it, actually. While she definitely stepped out of her comfort zone, and it was definitely effective. However, she was initially hoping that by her performance, she would also dissuade the trolls from, taking anything from the villagers. So, and she was very helpful throughout a lot of it, but it turns out a lot of the help provided ended up turning in ways that she didn't expect and wasn't maybe always that happy with. But she has new things to look forward to.
That's true. Does she turn toward winter?
think she does.
What changes?
Because, well, with the turning of winter means longer nights. And perhaps more time with a certain nightmare horse. And as a result, the copper flecked black in the feathers of her cloak go to more of a glittering black, resembling a night sky.
That's lovely.
Aw.
And Anna, how
Um,
did the show? What did Willowwind take away from this?
I think Willowwind took away the you can't always get what you want. Um, you know, but if you try, I'd find you get what you need instead. Um, she was very much hoping that she could, in some way, protect the town from the harm. Um, and while she thinks that, at least to some extent, that happened, it's not the extent that she wanted. And I think she is definitely going to step towards winter. And she's going to do it in 2 different spots, I think. Because what's going to happen is that she's going to switch from bare feet to studded jacket, and from dawn to briar bramble. So getting a little bit more thorny and prickly and hedgehoggy in a bristly sort of way.
I
And
approve
that-
for entirely out of character reasons.
Good stuff. All right, and that was Under Hollow Hills. I want to thank you all for letting me take you on this journey. I thought you guys. It is not the usual kind of game that I run, and it's not the usual kind of game we play together. But I'm really happy with how it came out, and I hope you guys had a good time too.
Yeah, no, this was pretty awesome. I really liked it.
It was very interesting.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it immensely.
I'm glad. Anna, do you have any parting words before we end the stream?
Well, mostly thank you everybody for being here, and thank you to Ms. Mad Duck for being our moderator, and of course, great big thank you to Jason for running it and for everybody joining in. Get a shout out Hedgie, who's another streamer. But yeah, we'll who knows? Maybe we'll do this again, but probably in the spring, not earlier, because schedules are the worst. But yeah, thanks everybody.
Do we have anybody we want to raid to once we're done here?
Let me check. Let me see who's on. If you want to also check, because you know lots of people too.
Sure,
I'm
yeah,
just like
absolutely.
looking at
I can take a look.
who is on, and mostly I'm not really seeing like anybody I know.
Because another thing that I'm part of right now is there's a Twitch virtual theater festival going on.
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
I've heard.
Ooh.
And I actually helped out with some of the costumes for a bit that's going to be happening. Unfortunately, I don't. Let me see
Because say, are any of
if
them
there's anybody currently doing anything for the Twitch Theater Jam. Let me see what's available. Let me see if they're on.
I was gonna say I'm like looking and
Unfortunately,
I'm
it doesn't
like,
look like anybody is on for that right now.
yeah,
But
all I'm
nobody
seeing
else
is like
gonna be
Bob
on until
Ross,
8 p.m.
Wildlife Cam, and you can't
Let me-
raid
let
Bob
me take a look at
Ross, and you know,
I mean, you could, but why
no,
would you?
the channel doesn't allow it.
Um,
Sadly, you in fact literally cannot.
As far as a rather chill and comforting option, there is Nimbly, Knimbley, who is going
Okay.
to be one of the hosts specifically for The Importance of Being Earnest, which is a
Okay.
production that's going to be part of the Twitch Theater Jam, which is the one I'm specifically part of. So
We could totally do
that
that
might be
raid,
an option.
especially if you stick around to
Oh,
do
yeah,
the intro, because I know it. Can you
absolutely.
spell the name again?
Sure. Actually, I'll go ahead and pop it in the chat so people know where we're going.
Oh, that's
And if
even
you
a
have a
better
specific
idea.
raid call, go ahead and drop it in the chat so people know what to say and cheer for as you bring this raid in. If they're assuming they're allowing raids, I haven't actually checked.
Oh, I don't know, but let's find out. I'm gonna look at a preview. I don't think it's disallowed, and they are
Fantastic.
just chatting. So
Yep.
let's do it.
And also, for those of you who are watching, if you like what you saw here and you're particularly a fan of Jason's storytelling skills, please go tip him.
Yes.
The link is currently in the chat.
Yes. Okay.
Be sure to tip your STs.
Off we go.